So, in this screencast, we're going to look at how you can use Google Forms to insert feedback tools, to insert images, GIFs, redirect based on answers, and all of that fun stuff. Um, what I have done is this is Seventh Grade by Gary Soto is a story that I've used before when I did middle school ELA. And so this is not, I don't think this is mine, but I think I have it. Somebody shared it with me. So I made a copy and I'm going to use it to kind of go over what some of these pieces are and how you will, or how you might embed certain things in there. So just looking at this quiz, this assessment, this first piece, Victor really wants to impress, and I may make this um, a question to see if they know what's going on. You know, so if they get this one right, then I know they've at least listened or read or something. If they don't, then they need to. So what I'm going to do is make this my question that kind of weeds out or forces a review for a student if they need it. So, what I'm going to do first is I need to see where I'm going to send students if they don't get it right. Because if they get it right, they can go straight to the next question, or I could put something in place saying, Yay, you got it right. Um, but if they don't get it right, then I need to do something that's going to stop them from moving forward until they do. So, I'm going to go over here where it says add a section, and I'm going to put it directly beneath this question. Now, this section, I don't want it attached to these that are right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it and I'm going to add another section. And now that section has all of the other questions on it. So you can see for this untitled, it says untitled section. You don't have to have that on there. You can actually take that off if you want to and leave it blank. You could put something else on there. I might say, hold up, because I'm trying to get my student that missed this question to go back and either read or take a look at the text again or for the first time. So I might have them say, okay, hold up. And then I would, in my description, I may say, here is a copy of the text as well as a video of someone reading it aloud. Check it out before trying this question again. So say those are my instructions. I'm going to go over, and the first thing I'm going to do is add a video. And see, you can go ahead and search directly in here. So I might do seventh grade Gary Soto. And I've already checked. I checked before I started the video to make sure that that it was on here where somebody had been reading it out. And there are several different ones where people have read it out. You can tell they have read it aloud because it's about 12 minutes if they do that. So I'm going to choose this one, and I haven't listened to it, so I have no idea if it's going to be all right or not. But for the purposes of what we're doing, it works just fine. So this YouTube video has the um, read aloud of the story. So I might just label it Gary Soto, and then I might also go ahead and find it, or if I have it already on online somewhere, that's fine. But I know that also this happens to be one that is very frequently uh, posted online, so it's pretty easy to find a link to a text for it. So there's one right there. So for seventh grade by Gary Soto, so I will right click that. I will click copy link address because that's what I need is the address to where this is. And then I go back to my quiz, and now this time I'm going to add a text bar. And so for this, I'm going to put text of seventh grade by Gary Soto. And then in the description, I'm going to paste the link to the PDF. So now I have right here, this is my screen for students. And so I will, if they answer the question incorrectly, it'll come here, but I have to make it so that that happens. So in order to do that, I have to go back up to the question, and you click on the question, and then the little three dots right over here, you click on the three dots, and then you go to section based on answer. So you can see here, and this one, it's got a kind of a funky look to it, but it's the same concept. So Teresa is who it is that he's trying to impress. So if I have Teresa is the correct answer, you say go on to the next section. Now, if I wanted to make this so that this first question you were either told you were right or you were wrong, I could. Um, I'm going to do that for a different one just to show you guys another example of it. But so if the student puts Teresa on here, then that's correct. They'll go to the section, and I want to make sure I go to the fifth section, because if you look on, yeah, and this is the thing, you may want to label your section so you know where they are. I would suggest that you put you use some kind of pattern so that your questions and your responses can correspond with each other and you can find them easily. Because I broke these up and I didn't label them. All I remember is that this first one here is the first question that I just broke up, and then I know that the one underneath it is hold up. So if they get the question right, I don't want them to go to that one. I would like for them to go ahead to the next question, which is the section after that. Now, if they get the question wrong, I go to each one of these and I send them to the hold up section. So if I get any of these three answers, they're going to go to the hold up section. And then they go through right here. And then what I want to do, though, if I'm trying to track this formatively, what I want to do is make sure that I put some kind of question on this section. And all I do normally is I put a question and say, "Are you ready to try that question again?" And then you can just do yes or no. Um, actually, I'm not even gonna put no, I'm just gonna put yes. So, because what I'm trying to do is when they go through and they get the first question wrong, I want to know that they got the first question wrong. And not because I'm keeping tabs or anything like that. I'm not even grading the assignment, but I want to know that they have gotten that first question wrong, because that helps me formatively. Did they read the text? Did they not read the text? So, are you ready to try that question again? In order for me to be able to track their responses on these types of redirections, I need to be able to see where they have clicked a yes, and that yes will show up in the spreadsheet of responses. So, are you ready to try that question again? Yes. And so, what I can do here is when they answer this one, I go right down here and it says continue to next section, but I'm going to change it and put it back up to the multiple choice question. So now what this is doing is they answer the first question. If it's right, they go directly down here to the next set of questions. If it is wrong, it will send them to this, and then they will have to. Then it sends them back up to try again. So um, you could you can see these questions on here. There's ones about inferences. There's ones about theme. Um, Another thing you could do would be to um, you could just make it so if they get the question right or wrong, you say yay or oh boo, something like that to make it interesting for the more interesting for the kids. So say I have this theme question. One theme of the story is, and I want to do something where I congratulate kids that get it right, and I redirect kids to review what theme is if they're wrong. So what I'm going to do is the same thing that I did before, but I'm going to need to have two different sections. I'm going to need to have a section that has the yes, you got it right, and I'm going to need a section that says, oh, let's try again, but let's review this first. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and add a section and add another section. So you can see, wait, where'd it go? Well, I thought I added one. I guess I only added one. Let me try to add my next one. There we go. So there's my two sections. And remember, I want to get this one away, this untitled away from the other questions. And so I just put another one in because it always wants to have a section title at the top of the questions. So what I'm going to do here, you see I have section 6 and section 7. And the sections will automatically renumber themselves, so you don't have to worry about that when if you've already started redirecting questions, you don't have to worry about doing that and going back um, and renumbering everything. So what you'll want to do here is just label these two so you know what they are. So I might say not quite for the no, and I might say awesome for the yes. And so you can do anything that you want to do regarding as far as inserting images. So if I wanted to, I could include an image of something of the graphic organizer that we had put together. I could put an image of something that will help jog their memory regarding theme. I could embed a video that talks about theme. So I have on here a theme video. I'll show you. I just the same thing you do. You go to YouTube and you search, and I just put in theme in all capital letters. I think there's a Brain Pop video on here that is on theme. Oh, they gave me Paw Patrol. I don't think I can do that, y'all. So there was supposed to be one. There it is. So I put this in here, and then it's there. And I might say, take a look at the video um, and the image before trying again. Right. Now the image could be anything. I could Google what is theme and then go to my images. And over here is where you can get the ones that are you could go by usage rights and labeled for reuse. That's the easiest way to do it, to make sure you have something that that you can use, but then it takes away a lot of the options. Um, excuse me. So um, I just Google in there, what is theme? Theme is a central message, a broad idea about life, usually not stated, must be inferred. That's fine. I'm going to use this one right here. And I'm going to put this one I'm going to embed it underneath that video. So to do that, the easiest way to do it, and it works most of the time. It works some of the time. As long as you're making sure you do it the right way, it should embed in easily. If it doesn't, then you might need to save your image and do it that way. But I'm going to show you the easiest way that you can try to insert an image in here. So if I click on theme, and this is the one that I want to use, I then go over to the image of it big, and I right click. And when I right click, I click on copy image address. So the Google Forms will only recognize certain types of files. Okay, so it'll only recognize files that are PNG files or JPG files or GIF files. And so if you put in the web address of the site that this image came from, it won't recognize it and it won't put the image in. So you have to choose copy image address because that's where the image itself is located. Now, sometimes you'll do that and you'll try to paste it in and it still won't work. That usually means there's some kind of protection on that image and you'd have to try something else. But if you're looking and you're Googling for an image, you choose copy image address, and then you go back to your question or your redirection. So I have this one right here. I'm going to also put in text underneath it. Oh, wait, what did I do that for? Sorry. I'm going to do an image. I just said that. Sorry, I'm trying to think forward and do this at the same time. So I'm going to add an image right underneath this. You can see I can do upload. I can take a picture of myself if I wanted to. You can do URL, Google Drives, Google image search. If you do Google image search, that's usually really good for making sure that you get ones that you can use that are labeled free for reuse, that you don't have to worry about copyright and stuff from. So this right here by URL is what you're looking for, and you can use this option to post any of the memes or GIFs or any of that stuff. You see, it says only select images that you have confirmed that you have the license to use. So there is some There are certain images that you can or cannot use. You have to make sure that you have the permission to do that. For the purposes of what this is, because I'm not planning on publishing this site or having anybody do anything with it, I'm going to show you. So I pasted the link, the image address link, and you can tell that it's a file it accepts because the picture comes up, and you can see the JPG over here on the end of it. And so then I insert image. And so there it is, and you can readjust it and make it smaller or whatever. See, there's a copyright down here on it. So if I was going to be using this, I would have to adhere to what the copyright law says about this and get permission before I posted it for use. However, just saying, if you wanted to make your own slide and use it yourself, you obviously could do that without having to worry about copyright, because many of us know what, if we had to make a slide on theme, we would say these exact same things. So you could always just make your own if you wanted to and put it in. So say that's my redirect if you get the question wrong. And then here is my yay, you got it right, good for you. Um, Section. So what I'm going to do now is I want to find a GIF of, I guess maybe what you got it correct. So GIF, I always just go and Google GIF, correct answer, and see what comes up. And so there's Shia LaBeouf. I wonder if it'll let me do that one. He's a nut. So there you go. So there's one. He's clapping because it's right. So what I'm going to do, just like I did a minute ago, I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to go to copy image address. And you select it. You go back to your Google form. You select an add image. And yeah, see, that's if it's not valid, it'll tell you if you can't use it. So this time I'm going to do this. There it is. I insert the image to put it in the right place. There it is. Okay. So you are correct. Let's see. I like to say you may move forward. Something nutty like that. Okay. So now I have my two redirections. So this is my question back up here. It was about theme. So whichever the answer is, which is when is you shouldn't lie to impress anyone, I'm going to use my three dots. I'm going to go to section based on answer. And sometimes they will all show up right here in the same row, and sometimes it moves over. So I'm just going to choose. If you get this one right, you go to awesome. And if you get this one wrong, I'm going to send them to not quite. And you may have multiple ones that are not quite, or multiple ones that are awesome, and that may make it seem like it's hard to keep up with. But if you keep those right underneath the question, so like if this is my theme question, and then I have my not quite and my awesome right underneath it, then I can go on to the next question, and those will still stay there. And I will always know that the ones right underneath that question are the ones that I can continue, that go with that question, and I can loop back in again. So that kind of helps you keep organized when you're doing it. There are obviously, when I was showing you these other pieces, there are ways for you to insert different images if you wanted to. Um, but the videos pretty much are just YouTube videos, because even if you try to paste a URL, it says YouTube URL. But you could at any point insert any of the screencasts that you have if you go ahead and upload them to YouTube when you make them. Then you can post them as unlisted, and then you could put them and embed them in here as well. So um, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this did not. I hope I didn't talk too fast, because generally I sometimes do. But this is the basic how-to with how you will set up your sections. You do want to make sure. I like to make sure that at the very end I have one last section that says thank you or something like that. It lets me keep all of my little questions separate if I need them to be. You do not have to put these on every single question. You don't have to put them, you can do one and be done with it if you want to. Um, but just remember that if you want to be able to track it formatively, once you do it, you will need to, like right here, for the redirect right here, you would need to put in um, a question that says, "Ready to move on?" Yes. And then you have this go to the next section, right? Or, I mean, back to that question. Sorry. Okay. So I hope that this was super helpful, or at least at least minimally helpful. And uh, yeah, I'll be on here again with some more as we continue to move on.